Hi, and welcome to Dog Fostering 101. I'm Jackie Adams, foster mom and learning and development professional. This podcast is for anyone who's new to fostering, thinking about saying yes for the first time, or navigating those early days and looking for practical tips, because fostering changes lives at both ends of the leash. A couple of weeks ago, I had a foster puppy named Boba, and she was a lab pitty mix with the most adorable floppy ears. Now, at the Charlotte Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control, another volunteer named Holly Huffman had noticed Boba had been shaking in the back of her run. Holly sat with Boba for about 90 minutes, just quietly feeding her treats, talking to her, letting her know she wasn't alone. And hearing about this and seeing the video Holly posted of this timid pup trying to be brave is what made me decide to foster Boba. So when Boba came home with me, I had this picture in my mind of how it would go. I wanted to cuddle her. I wanted to tell her she was safe. I wanted that moment where she'd finally relax. But Boba wasn't ready for that. She walked into my home in rural North Carolina, a quiet space that looked nothing like the shelter she had just come from. And she didn't know what to expect. She didn't know me. She didn't know the rules. She didn't know what was coming next. And we weren't going to have that magical moment I had predicted. And that's when I was reminded of something that's true for almost every foster dog. Fostering isn't about the experience that we sometimes imagine in our brains. It's about observing the dog that's in front of us and adjusting to what they need. That experience with Boba is a good example of what the first days of fostering often look like. Not dramatic, not magical, just unfamiliar for both of you. So, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through what to prioritize in those first few days at a high level. We'll talk about how to set up your environment so your foster dog isn't overwhelmed, what your actual role is at the beginning and what it isn't, what to observe before you try to change anything, and how to make small practical adjustments that make life easier for both of you. This isn't about training or fixing behavior. It's about creating a workable setup and paying attention. Think of the first days as information gathering. Your job is to notice patterns, reduce unnecessary pressure, and let the dog show what they need. With that in mind, let's start with the environment. So, first, we need to set up the space before you set expectations. So, if you have baby gates, use them. Create a defined space area so that it reduces that overwhelmingness for them. Give the dog space to observe without pressure. Some dogs settle better when they don't have full access to the house right away. A small, predictable area often helps dogs relax faster. Think of it as a landing zone, not confinement. Second, let's start with keeping the routine simple and predictable. You don't need a rigid schedule, but predictability helps dogs feel oriented. Try to feed about the same times, use the same door for potty breaks, and keep mornings and evenings calm at first. When dogs know what usually happens next, they spend less energy figuring things out, and that makes everything easier. When you're introducing toys, rotate them. Start with just a couple of toys, a soft one, a chew one, and maybe a food related toy, if appropriate. After a few days, swap them out. Dogs enjoy novelty and mental stimulation just like we do. You don't need more toys, just different ones. Toy rotation keeps dogs engaged without overstimulating them. You should also watch how they handle everyday life. Early fostering is really about observation. Pay attention to how your dog reacts to stairs, doorways, and household noises like lawnmowers, leaf blowers, or vacuums. Some dogs are terrified of stairs. Some are fine with one, and not the next day. So you should also be watching for those tendencies. One of my foster dogs, named Simon, took 2 months in order to get used to my staircase. You should also increase distance, avoid forcing exposure, and let confidence build over time. There's really no timeline here. Use a leash in the house if needed. A lightweight leash indoors can be incredibly helpful, especially in the beginning. It allows you to guide a dog without grabbing them and manage transitions or add safety around stairs, doors, and external guests. This isn't about control, it's about management while the dog is still learning your home. You should also pay attention to rest and sleep setups. Where in dog asleep matters. Some dogs rest better near people. Others do better in quieter spaces, like crates, beds, or open areas. They can all work as long as the dog feels safe. Good rest speeds up everything else. You should also notice patterns, not just moment. Watch for patterns like excessive licking, pacing, trouble settling, and digestive changes. These aren't problems, they're information. For example, if a dog is licking a lot, food might be worth considering. If you adjust this food, especially if you think they might have something common like a chicken allergy, then this can cause other problems. So you should avoid switching brands too often or using too many types and interspersing them throughout. Too many changes can upset a dog's stomach and create new issues. Make changes slowly and intentionally. Expect things to change from day to day. Progress with foster dogs is not always linear. A dog may handle something well one day and struggle with it the next day. That's normal. If things feel harder, slow down and simplify the environment. That's not backtracking, that's just good fostering. You should also look for quiet wins. Progress often shows up quietly. A calm potty break is definitely a win. Choosing to lie down nearby is a win. Sleeping through the night, it's a win. Not everything looks like a big breakthrough, and that's okay. Here's the simplest way to think about the first days of fostering. Your job isn't to bond. Your job isn't to train. Your job is to notice. Notice what this dog does when the house is quiet. Notice what changes when routines are predictable. Notice what gets easier and what doesn't. If you're unsure what to do, don't add more. Take something away. Simplify the setup, observe, and adjust. That's what fostering actually looks like. And here's a part I love about Boba's story. After just 2 days in my home, she came completely out of her shell. Not only was she incredibly affectionate, but she was wicked smart. She came to me already knowing sit, and then very quickly learned down, stay, and even not to eat snacks I placed on the floor until I picked them up and handed them to her. And she did one of the most adorable things I've ever seen a foster dog do. She played a little game of peekaboo with me while I lightly tickled her belly. I had suspected she was a cuddle bug all along. I'm just really grateful I didn't rush her to get there. Before we wrap up, if you want to dive deeper into this, I want to recommend Introduction to Cooperative Care from Maddie's Fund, which explains how to build consent and cooperation into everyday handling. And I also want to recommend Fear Free Pets course, which offers practical strategies to reduce fear, anxiety, and stress in pets. Together, these resources help you create a home where foster dogs feel safe, more in control, and better able to settle in. We'll share those links to those resources in the show notes. Thanks for listening to this Foster Fast Track. Now go snuggle a pup and have a great day. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Dog Fostering 101, everything I wish I knew when I began fostering. This episode was edited by Make Your Day Richer. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to follow us and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Now go cuddle a pup and have a great day.